Studies say humans forget 90% of their dream upon the first 10 minutes awakening. They say most people don't even remember 99% of the dreams they ever even had. As dream chasers, we're the exception.
Might see a little smoke on the headers there. That's just from the WD-40 burning off. That way we can have the bolts nice and warm before we pull the headers on out. Alright, spark plugs. We want to line them up according to the cylinder. We have each one set out right here just to make sure we don't get them mixed up, or you can mark them if you want. That's what they should look like when they're out the actual block. Just like that.
Let's go record.
Alright, next we remove all the bolts. Like we said previously, we let the car reach operating temperature so that way the heads were hot, and that would assist with the removal of the bolts into the cylinder head for the manifolds. On this last bolt back here, this connector prevents you from going on flush onto the bolt. So what we do, this connector right here, it pulls out, and you just, it's a tab right here you push down on. Get back here. There we go. You just set that aside. It looks like the wiring already has some kind of heat sink on there, so just push it to the side so it doesn't get hot and possibly melt some wires. There you go. So now we have all of the manifold bolts loosened, and we did that by hand first versus using an air ratchet, just so that we wouldn't break any bolts off in the heads. Next, we're going to lock the steering wheel so that way we can disconnect the coupler from the rack and pinion. Make sure the steering wheel is locked so that way the steering wheel doesn't free spin when it's disconnected from the coupler, and possibly ruin your clock spring for the airbag. And so after we do that, this manifold comes off, and then we'll go to the next side and do the same thing. So pretty much right here we have the stock exhaust manifold with the stock exhaust manifold gasket. You can see the GM part number right there. The stock catalytic converter with the O2 sensor still connected. We have to remove this O2 sensor and connect it to the new setup, which is right here. So now we'll start with the new setup. They included gaskets, new bolts, new hardware. Before we install the new hardware, we'll definitely use anti-seize, and that'll help prevent rusting or seizure of the bolt when you have two dissimilar metals.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Look. I don't know why they been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring.